Where are the physicians? I mean, this is where I need to say, guys, get the lace off your panties. What are you thinking by not coming out and telling the truth? Whether it's guys or girls or anyone, please help the individuals like Catherine to get the word that these people are sick, they're dying. I mean, just because we don't happen to live in the Gulf doesn't mean it's not our problem. Catherine, we've only got a few minutes left, but how can people help? Eddie, I'll go to you in just a second, but how can people help?
Okay, well, this is what I want to say. We are having a human health epidemic. It's an epidemic of mass proportions. This is actually affecting just about everyone in the United States, and people need to see that.
It's manslaughter. Let's just call it what it is. It's manslaughter.
It really is, because we don't know what's going to happen, and this feels way worse than what they saw in Valdez. And Ricky has said to me that the symptoms are way worse than what they saw out there, and things were very bad out there. We need to, if you get on changingtheendgame.org, there are things that you can do. But our communities are going to have to gather together. We're going to have to stand up for America, for our brothers and sisters, not just in the Gulf. This is not a Gulf problem. This is a national problem, and people need to see it in California, in Washington, everywhere. This is a national problem. They're going to have to stand up together. They're going to have to make their phone calls. There are things that you can do. A lot of them are listed on that website. But we have to realize that we can't let this happen. You know, America was started by people who came here for freedom. They didn't come here to be oppressed, not just by the government, but, by big corporation. And that's a lot of what Changing the Endgame is about. It's about the reign of the big corporation, the fact that 90% of the money in the United States is being controlled by big corporations, and how they're really controlling a lot of what is happening. And they're killing all of us, and we're allowing it to happen because they're keeping us in the dark, and they're covering us with blindfolds. But we're leaving those on, and we've got to take them off. I'm not somebody who wanted to deal with any of this. Growing up, I really believe that the world was a much better place than it was. There are good people out there. There are a lot of good people out there. And there's more of us than there are of government agencies. Ricky talks about that all the time. The power of the people is greater than the power of the people in power.
I dealt with the issue of the Gulf War veterans and the atomic veterans. They were killed off. Because I was speaking out, people said, well, I'm not a veteran, so it doesn't affect me. Now they've come for the veterans. They've come for the fill in the blank. They've come for, the people in 9/11. They let those people die off with poisonings up there, toxins in New York City. Then Katrina, and now the Gulf. Well, I wasn't one of those people. Well, guess what? You're going to be soon. Let me go to Eddie in Alabama. Eddie, you're on the air. Go ahead, please. What's on your mind? You're on with Catherine Birren.
Yes, Catherine, you mentioned those swimming pools down there. I don't think you're a chemist. That Corexit that goes through the air, is there a possibility it could get into chlorinated water in those swimming pools and cause a major reaction and make people even sicker than they normally would?
Well, that's actually what is happening. When it goes into the pools, I don't know that the chemicals in your pools can make it worse, but if you think about it as like a big bowl and you're pouring it in there, yes, you do have some of that evaporate, but a lot of it's still there. Pools are not emptied yearly. So, I know in Florida, I don't know about your area, but in Florida, we are coming up on our rainy season. We get thunderstorms pretty much, every afternoon. The concern is we've already got some of it in our pools from last summer. Even if there's been some evaporation, it's not enough to get rid of everything that's there, and we're going to dump more in this year. And every time it rains, we're dumping more and more and more. The rain tested right at this point, I don't know that it would show as high of toxins as it will, let's say, in June when we're having daily rainstorms and the oil has come up more to the surface and they're spraying even more than they were before. Because it's not just, like I said, the Corexit, it's also the oil. I mean, we're finding this on our beaches in Sarasota. We fingerprint matched it. I mean, we know that it is traveling. Sarasota Beach is below Tampa. This is an area that we were told was never even hit. So, I mean, this stuff's traveling places that the government has never told anyone that it has. You can get your water sample sent in. It's $300. I know that sounds like a lot, but you can get your community to help you, and everybody can chip in, and everyone will know how all their